Look, at some point in your agency journey, somebody is going to offer you equity in their brand. And 99% of the time, you should say no. And I get it. On paper, it sounds incredible. You're building your portfolio. You own a piece of something now. You're a minority holder in this growing company that you're helping to grow. It sounds great, right? But here's the issue. The problem is never the business. The problem is the owner of that business. And what most people miss about equity deals is the second you take equity, the relationship completely switches because now you're an owner, which means 9 times out of 10, you are expected to offer your services either at cost, barely profitable, or in some cases even negative. And I know you're already thinking, but Jordan, this just comes down to how you structure the contract. And you could add quarterly bonuses above X KPI threshold, performance clauses, all that fun stuff. 1,000%. You're right. You can absolutely do that. And if you can do that, do it. But if this person has never exited a company before, this is what it's actually going to look like. You're going to spend 3 to 6 months negotiating that contract. What does profitability actually mean? What if we're out of inventory during this month? And then lawyers are going to get involved. You're going to go back and forth on terms, definitions, exit clauses. And during that entire window, if you had just agreed to a revenue share from day one, you would have already been making a shit ton of money without having this massive mess that delayed the launch for 6 months. So let me show you the math on this. Let's say you have a 10% rev share above X agreed KPI, and you hold that relationship for 2 to 3 years. Well, then compare that to an equity deal where you've compressed your service fee and you plan on exiting in 2 to 3 years, same time period. At the end of those 2 to 3 years, the total payout is probably going to be pretty similar. But with revenue share, that money is coming in every single month. And with equity, you're just waiting. And then what nobody talks about is when you do decide to exit and sell the company, that takes another year just for the company that wants to buy it to get the numbers evaluated, the deal structured properly. And you probably have to sign this exclusivity agreement where no other companies can offer to buy it. So if you're planning on selling in 2 years, you're really going to wait 3 years. And if you're planning on selling in 3 years, then you're really waiting 4 years. And that is assuming that the business owner is actually going to go through with it. Because sometimes the owner just gets cold feet and decides not to sell at all. This is going to be the billion-dollar company in the sock industry. Like, I would way rather just collect cash faster every single month. Now, if you genuinely trust the owner, if they have exited a company before, if this is the second project you're working with them on, you've seen them operate under pressure, if their strength isn't your strength and your strength isn't their strength and there's synchronicity there, then an equity conversation may make sense. But this video is more so for the young agency owners because I don't want you to get the shiny object equity syndrome and unintentionally fuck yourself over and unintentionally work for 2 to 3 years for the owner to just back out or screw you over somehow.